All right, so per Anma's request, I just chose a random math problem for tonight's homework that I think is actually the most challenging. So I'm gonna go ahead and do number 5 because I thought that looked the most challenging. Check this out. Write a partitive division story. Problem for 5/12 divided by 1/6. So when I think of partitive, it just means that we're trying to figure out how many pieces fit inside of our dividend, okay? Or we're splitting it into smaller parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and come first over here. I'm gonna do the original tape diagram that I showed you guys last week first, and then we're gonna work our way through a couple of other methods. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw 1/6. So we're always gonna draw our divisor first, which I know is a little bit confusing for some kids. So we're gonna draw our divisor, which is 1/6. So I'm drawing a tape diagram. I'm splitting it into 6 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are about equal, not perfect. Let me fix this a little bit more. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and shade one of them. And this is representing our divisor, 1/6. Next, what we do is we set our shaded piece, in this case, it's only one piece, equal to our dividend. In this case, it's 5/12. And what we go ahead and do is we know if this piece is worth 5/12, since all these 6 are the exact same size, each of these pieces are worth 5/12. Okay. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to find the total amount this entire tape diagram would be worth by adding all the 5/12 together. So 5/12 plus 5/12 is 10/12 plus 5/12, 15/12, 20/12, 25/12, 30/12. So altogether we're going to have 30/12. That answer is the beginning of an answer, but you know what? That answer is also not simplified. So what I'm trying to do is find a common factor or a number that can be divided out by both 30 and 12. So I know you guys watching at home might think 2. 2 does work, but you can divide even bigger number than 2. So you might have guessed this number, you might not have, but the number I'm going to use is 6, okay? So I'm going to say 30 divided by 6 equals 5, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. And now I see 5 over 2. They no longer share any common factors, so that's good, but it's an improper fraction. And if it's an improper fraction, that means I need to simplify it further. And the way you do that is by dividing the numerator by the denominator. So go ahead and do the long division on the side. What is 5 divided by 2? Well, 2 fits inside of 5 twice. And then if you subtract 5, and 2 times 2 is 4. And if you subtract 5 minus 4, you're going to get 1. So your answer and your divisor will be your denominator. I didn't show you that work. I just talked you through it. Hopefully you did that. Your answer should be 2.5. That's the answer you should have gotten right here. Okay, so that's only one method of solving this problem. I'm going to come over here and show you a second method you can do to solve this problem. The second method would be to draw 2 tape diagrams. So first I'm going to draw one for 5/12. Or actually I'm going to make 2 tape diagrams. And I'm going to make sure they are about the same size. Right? And the one on top I'm going to draw 5/12. So I'm going to split this top diagram into 12 equal pieces. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I split it to 4s first. And I know 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to split each of these 4ths into thirds. So now altogether I should have 12 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I got 12. Because of the fraction on top, we're going to make sure we have 5 shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, the top tape diagram represents the 5/12. Okay? So next, we're going to try to figure out how many times do 1 6 fit inside of 5/12. So on the bottom tape diagram, I'm going to draw a 6. So I'm going to do that I'll split it into 2 parts, all right? And I know that 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm going to split each of these halves into thirds. And then I know one of these are shaded because the numerator of the divisor is 1. And this image represents 1 6. So let's take a quick look closer, and we can see that 1 6 is about the same value as 2 12ths. So 1 6 and 2 12ths are equal. And what do you know? Those are equivalent fractions because 1 times 2 is 2, and 6 times 2 is 12. So we can see that 1 6 fits inside of 5/12 once, twice, and then you see there's a half of 1 left. So it fits in there 2.5 times, because this is also equal to 1 6. And then there's a half of 1 left. So again, the same answer. 1 6 fits inside of 5/12 once, twice, 2.5 times, all right? So that's another method. If neither of those methods work for you, let's actually go over here and solve it using the equation. So we have 5/12 divided by 1 6. So I'm going to sing the song for you. Dividing fractions, simple as pi. Flip the second, then multiply. So we're going to keep the 5/12, change this into a multiplication operation. Then we're going to flip or find the reciprocal of the 1 6. So we're going to have 5/12 times 6/1. So going back to song, dividing fractions, easy as pie. Flip the second, then multiply. Don't forget to simplify. All right, so we're going to use cross cancellation to simplify. 1 and 5, the only common factor they share is 1. Thus, we can't simplify it. For 6 and 12, they share a common factor of 2. They share a common factor of 3, but their largest common factor is 6. So we're going to divide both of these by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So then next, we're just going to multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. So we have 5/2 as the answer, which we had before. I'm going to just do the calculation now. 5/2 is the same as 5 divided by 2. You can go ahead and show that math by how many times does 2 fit inside of 5? 2 fits inside of 5 2 times. 2 times 2, 4. 5 minus 4, 1. You have a 1 that becomes your numerator. Your 2 becomes your divisor. Your answer is 2.5. I hope one of these methods works out for you. Good luck in your homework tonight, ladies and gentlemen.